Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game! When we last left off, we got Lorm's good ending, and... well, it was actually kind of disappointing. I mean, just about the only difference between Lorm's bad ending and his good ending is, in the bad ending, he dies off camera. In the good ending, he lives off camera. Seriously, game... I know that Lorm is a backer character, but he's my favorite character in the game. Let me hug him. Maybe Lorm doesn't like hugs or something. Anyway, the scene after the credits was kind of interesting. I wound up pulling Reza into the portal, sending us back in time to the start of this adventure. The administrator was there waiting for us. The administrator punched Reza in the face and dragged Reza off. I'm very curious if that will come into play on this next run. It's not really a guarantee because on a previous run I went back in time and took the administrator's disguise with me, and that did not come into play, so who knows. Anyway, one thing I was hoping to do on the previous run was try to save Vara, the pink dragon girl. Apparently she wound up committing suicide when her mother died of some illness, so I was hoping to help her out on the previous run. Couldn't happen, but I've been told how to do it, so I'm going to do it, and that involves doing a Remy run. So, let's go ahead and restart the adventure and hang out with Remy on this adventure. Continue your journey, Erika. Here we go again. Chapter 1, Duty. Probably going to be the same thing as usual starting off. Woke from uneasy dreams, looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Looked around the room, it's nice and sunny. Can see the portal on the hill. Remy left a note with phone numbers and stuff. Doorbell rings, and this is Sebastian. And we can skip to the character selection. Everything happens. We meet with Reza. He freaks out and shoots Maverick. We learn about the first murder. And then we get to the character selection. So before says that in order to get Remy's good ending, I also need to hang out with Adine. So these first couple of dates here are going to be retreads. And I am going to go through them again just to, well, a couple of reasons. One, to remind myself what happens during them. Also, to see if there's any dialogue difference, because my first date with Remy and my first date with Adine both originally took place later in the game when different things were going on. So I'm curious what happens if they take place at the start of the game instead. Before says probably best to do Adine's dates first, then Remy's during character selection. Alright, let's order some lunch then. I remember that Adine had told me that the cafe did deliveries as well. Not have anything else better to do, figured she'd try it out. Made an order, food delivery, that sort of thing. And yeah, I know that pretty much just about the entirety of the Lorm run was retreads, but I really want to do this. Alright, Adine, it's raining. She's so sad. I want to hug her. I want to hug everybody. Oh, it's you again. Hey! Hey! Here's your order. Sorry I got a little wet. Should still be okay. You're soaked. Why don't you come in? Thanks. I was just about to ask you if I could stay for a little while. This was actually my last delivery for the day, and I live on the other side of town. So, this date in particular... Yeah, I've gotten into a habit of calling them dates now, even if they aren't necessarily. But this date in particular originally took place on my first run after I was being sent home through the portal. And so, that was referenced here, where Adine was surprised to find out that I was still here. Thanks, I was just about to ask if I could stay for a little while. This was actually my last delivery of the day, and I live on the other side of town. Of course, I couldn't let you fly back when it's this ugly outside. And we're given the opportunity to skip the rest of the scene. I think most of this is going to remain the same from here. I'll take a look at the first couple lines of dialogue, because I think that's all that was possibly going to be different, was referencing that I didn't go through the portal. But I will be doing a lot of skipping after these first kind of lines. Feel right at home, better eat this before it gets cold. Sat down at the table, started eating my food while Adine decided to take a seat opposite of myself. Do you like it? Yeah, I ordered something I knew I'd actually like this time. Didn't want to make the same mistake I did earlier today. Has something similar where you come from? We do. Before says, probably best to skip so you don't accidentally get 2 answering machine messages. I would assume that would only happen if I went on all 5 dates. What were we saying? Almost scary how close it is to what we have back home. Maybe you all just have a similar taste, or maybe there's more to it than that. What do you mean? Don't you trace your origins back to humans? That's true. Where do you think the portal you found came from? Who built it? Humans did it, of course. If you believe humans have something to do with artifact created, who knows how many years ago? Wouldn't be a stretch to think they influenced you. Even as simple as a dish. Adine has kids? Rather, take care of them, foster parents, orphanage. She takes care of them at an orphanage. But she's too busy at the restaurant to really be a mother. Hobbies. Adine wants to ask questions. Sure, go ahead. Don't know much about you. What would you like to know? What did you do before you came here? Well, we're definitely not going to make a bad pun. B4 says if you accidentally get Remy and Adine to like you too much, they'll both leave an answering machine message, and whichever you don't hang out with the next day will be abandoned and you can't continue meeting with them. Well, honestly, on this run, I'm only going to hang out with Adine the couple of days I need in order to get Remy's good ending. I'll do an Adine run later on another run. In fact, it'll probably be the run after this. Anyway, I don't do nothing special. Tell me about your hobbies. Flying! Not just flying, aerobatics. Let's see here. Doing that on and off for a couple of years now? You must be the most overqualified delivery flyer in history, then. That might not be so far from the truth. Actually hoping to be part of a competition. Yeah, we never found out about that. She died right before it. I still want to know what that is about. But Vara is my priority for this run. Awesome, where can I watch that? Still gonna be all friendly like during this. Whether you will still be here when it takes place, part of a festival we hold in this town every year. My turn? A Beerfor says, might want to skip Remy's so you don't have to do the book puzzle again. As a matter of fact, right before today's stream, I went and looked at the stream where I did the book puzzle and wrote down all the answers. So that is no concern. Let's see, when they said a human would come here, expected something different. What did you expect? Not sure. Said it was humans who made us who we are today. Don't seem so different from us. I don't know, I feel like physically we're pretty dang different. I mean, yeah, you do look different. Well, yeah. Not really anything like some of the things that have been said about your kind. Same about you. Really? Plenty of myths about dragons. Like what? Greedy, man-eating monsters, sorry to say. Not very nice. Some of what we have about you isn't very nice either. Hello there, Trentsk. Welcome to my stream. We can be vicious if we want to be. I'm kind of skimming through this scene because I have already seen this scene once before. I'm doing multiple runs of this game, trying to get all the good endings. I am no way special or supernatural. Disagree with that. Why? The fact you're just here with us right now is special. Good point. What were you think about when you heard about us? Thought it was awesome. Not so one-sided after all. Found a portal to an entirely different world? Still haven't figured that one out. We'll find out soon enough. Interesting selection of books you have there. Draconic Desire, Ixalan Spear. Ah, yes, that book. These books came with the apartment pretty much. I've read that one. How did I enjoy Sheridan and the Scepter of Sovereignty? Honestly, I can't remember it. Entertaining, nothing special, I guess, if I don't remember it. Nothing special is a good way to describe the entire series, actually. Oh, you've got Price and Prayer. You should totally read that one. I don't know if I get the opportunity. Based on true events, author is right when he says there's a lot we can learn from what happened back then. I mean, if I can, I'll check it out when I have time. Let me know when you do. I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say about it. Is that for a future date, then? Is there a Mr. or Ms. Erika? Nope. Potential. Not really. Back home. Anyone in your radar, then? Not really. Not back home. I don't believe you. So who is the lucky person? I'm not sure how many questions that was, but I'm sure it's not your turn anymore. Are we even still playing this game? Well, you started it. You seem to be enjoying it, though. Why not make this a little more interesting? What do you suggest? Truth or dare? We know what truth or dare is. So who's first? I start. I have the opportunity here to choose different questions than before. At the same time, I don't want to necessarily ruin things and not have an opportunity to see Adine again. So I'm gonna save just in case. Okay, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you? Yeah. Let me think. There was this one time when I was still a teenager. I was messing around and wanted to try out a new flying maneuver, a barrel roll. Did you do it? Needless to say, it ended badly. I guess you didn't succeed then? No, the roll itself went fine, but I lost control after that and plunged right to the ground. Oh, were you hurt? No, luckily I wasn't too high when I did it, and there was a great puddle of mud on the ground right where I landed. Of course, all my friends were there to see it. That wasn't enough to stop you from ever trying again? No. If anything, it only made me want to try harder. Since it is my turn now, what is your greatest wish? Be the very best like no one ever was. Still gonna give my same answers. Seems to be a very personal wish, Erika. My turn. Let's see, I'm pretty sure before I asked, what would you do if you were invisible for a day? These middle questions for Adine seem like bad questions to ask. I'm not sure if I even want to ask about the dying question. I tell you what, it's certainly a phobia of mine. Literally the sort of thing that keeps me up at night. Lately, not as bad, thankfully. Let's go with the less scary question. What do you think is your biggest physical flaw? Well, I wouldn't really call it a flaw, but if I could change one thing, it would probably be the stripes on my muzzle. I don't like them very much. I'm not sure I'd agree with that. But then, you aren't the one who's supposed to answer the question. If you knew the world was about to end, what would you do? What did I answer before? I mean, I don't necessarily have to give the same answer as before. Same line, less goodbyes, and hope for the best, I guess. Optimist until the very end. If you could come back with me to my world right now, would you do it? What's your biggest regret? If I asked you to kiss me, would you do it? I don't even remember which question I asked the first time. Biggest regret, asked you to kiss me. I don't know. Before it says I asked about coming back to my world. Alright. Let's keep things simple. For this run, I'm just going to always ask the third question. If I asked you to kiss me, would you do it? Is that your question, or is it already a dare? A question. I just couldn't think of anything better. Well, then my answer would be no. I don't kiss just anyone, you know. However, if it was a dare, my answer might be different. Alright, so from those you have met here so far, who is the one you fancy most? I'm forced to take a dare on this one. I don't have a choice. And we cut things off before I'm given the dare. We're gonna definitely have to take a rain check on that dare, I guess. So we get Adine's personal number. we'll have to make sure to spend the time with Adine at least one more time. Alright, that didn't take too long, and we got some new dialogue. Gone as quickly as she had appeared, given her enthusiasm, doubted that was the last time I would hear from her. Oh boy, was I ever wrong about that the first run. I'm pretty sure she was the last person I saw before she died. Alright, Remy, your turn. He told me to meet him at the library. In the lobby, nobody's here. Maybe I should look for him. He can't be too far after all. I will say, I'm curious if anything is going to be different, since we're doing this before having met Erika this time. So don't skip ahead. Quite a spacious building. As much of an archive as it was a library. I could definitely get lost in this place for an afternoon. I should consider hanging out at an actual library sometime, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily certain I'd be able to find a book that really interests me. I mean, I tend to go looking around for very specific books. Books where transformation is a theme. In fact, my favorite book is literally called Transformations. Anyway, I was looking around in wonder when suddenly a voice penetrated the silence. Remy! Couldn't see who the voice belonged to, but it came from the more private area in the back. It was followed by footsteps that approached it. Oh, you're still here? Of course I'm still here. I have business to attend to. Certainly. I just assumed you'd be done by now, Erika. Guess your assumption was wrong, then. Be a good boy and bring me some coffee, will you? Of course, Erika. I heard more movement, though I still could not see either of the two who spoke behind all the bookcases. I assumed the area was off limits to a visitor like myself and decided to wait. Here you go. Now let me read in peace, you silly boy. Of course. Walk in my direction until he emerged. Hello, Erika. Didn't expect you so soon. Yep. Guess what? You get to be my priority for this run. Congratulations. Better be safe than sorry. Well, I'm glad to see you again at any rate. Who was that back there? I guess you heard that, didn't you? That was my superior. She's the Minister of Culture and Arts, which means I'm technically in her employment, though generally speaking, I work for the council at large, not just her. So this is where you work, huh? Most of the time, yes. That makes you a librarian, I suppose. A little more to it. Not just in charge of books, I'm a scholar and study them too. For example, if the council requests knowledge on certain topics like facts, statistics, or other information of interest, it's part of my job to research it and present it to them in an appropriate manner. I think it was safe for me to choose this option here before. Just thinking about doing that kind of work day after day gives me a headache. Suppose it's a good thing that I am the one who works here and not you. Anyways, particular reason why you wanted to meet me? Let's see. The first run I just said that he's cute. I want to choose a different option. Interested in what you said the other day? You have myths about humans? You know what? Let's go with this option this time. Because I am kind of curious. Oh, right! I still have work to do, but I could show you something afterwards. Either way, now that you're here, you could help me with something. I've got some books that need to be sorted over there. Alright. How do I fit them alphabetically? Arrangement in this library based on sophisticated system. A lot of specimens, sorting them by alphabet would be far from safe and efficient. Sounds complicated. Not that hard, I'll show you. 8 books. Here's we get to this. All of them by the same person, whose name I probably don't need to remember. Here's all the hints. I don't need no stinking hints. Let's see here. The first book is the Inception. The second book is the First War. The third book is The Tribe. The fourth book is The Second War. The fifth book is The Invention. The sixth book is The Spark. The seventh book is The Third War. And the eighth book is The Enlightenment. I wonder if I'll get an opportunity to learn about these wars. Oh, you're done? Let's take a look then. Seems you got it all right. Well done, Erika. No problem. That wasn't too hard. In any case, there's a box here that belongs in storage. You can put that away. I'll finish the last bit of sorting, and then we will be done for the day. Sure thing. Great, see you in a bit then. Phew, that is heavier than I thought. I lifted the box and carried it towards its shelf, but just as I was about to reach it, I tripped suddenly, sending me to the ground as the contents of the box spilled across the floor. Whoops! I scrambled together the various items as the voice of the dragon called out to me. Is everything alright? Before I could answer, Remy came around the corner, his face bearing a look of disapproval. He stooped over and helped me pick up the spilled objects. Yeah, I'm fine. I was mainly asking about the priceless artifacts you just dropped. Sorry. Well, it doesn't look like anything is broken. Could have ended up much worse. What is all this stuff anyway? In preparation for your arrival, I wanted to study what knowledge we had on humans. What did you learn? Not much. The human is a creature shrouded in mystery and legend, yet one we apparently share some history with. Yada yada. Okay. Story goes, we dragons were once a primitive and savage civilization, living in caves and whatnot. We fought other creatures and amongst each other for resources and territory. Yep, y'all are dinosaurs. One day, however, a human arrived who performed many miracles and gave us the gifts of electricity and reason. We have referred to this event as our awakening. What happened to them? And who were they anyway? They say it was a divine creature, a supernatural being that saved our species by making peace between our clans and uniting us as our numbers were dwindling from our pointless conflicts. Would that be the wars that the books were talking about? Or were dinosaurs just killing each other off? And when the deed was done, they ascended to the heavens from where they came, or turned into a dragon and lived among us, ruling with kindness and wisdom until their eventual passing, depending on who you ask. Sadly, it was not that last one. I guess you could almost say it was that first one, but no, the administrator just got curious about the end of the world and traveled to the near end of the world, which unfortunately we are currently in. What do you make of this story? as unlikely as it sounds, there is evidence for sudden, unprecedented technological advancement in our timeline. Yep, the administrator left you some gifts. Starting to think you already have a theory. Are you familiar with the ways that the portals through which you traveled here actually work? Yeah, I actually am. It's simple, really. There are spontaneous wormholes that pop into existence now and then, but their highly unstable nature means that they instantly collapse in on themselves. The machinery of the portals merely stabilizes the wormholes so that we may utilize it. We actually are just taking advantage of a naturally occurring phenomenon. Da-da-da-da-da. That's pretty cool. Long story short, my theory is that this legendary person stumbled upon one of these natural wormholes in the split second it existed, bringing them into our world. That's not entirely inaccurate. Being thrust into an unfamiliar world with no means to return to their own. Talk about being at the wrong place at the wrong time. It'll be interesting if the administrator actually ever gets to meet any of these dragons. Oh boy, wouldn't that be something? Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or just the right one, if you ask me. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. Oh, what I would give to know more about them. Exactly. It'd be like meeting God. How do you know so much about the portal? Found it a while ago, had time to study it. Not me personally, but I followed its development. What else did you discover? Not much. Didn't want to risk personal damage. One thing is done for us was locating your portal, connecting us to it. From the interface, appears to have more functions. Haven't been able to get any of them to work. Not even sure what it was capable of when we initially turned it on. Only after some time of being active did it actually find your portal, and only then are we able to make a connection. Exciting discovery. You have no idea, especially when Reza arrived and he turned out to be a human of all things. You know, I bet that really was a surprise. I mean, they probably didn't know that they were expecting a human visitor. It makes me wonder, what do you think dragons interpret as aliens? I mean, we interpret humans as... we interpret aliens as being kind of human-like, except green skin and really big eyes. Do you think the dragon version of aliens is on 4 legs and also have big eyes? Do you think dragons even have the concept of aliens from outer space? Anyway, legends of humans, like an adoration on a personal level. I count myself among them if it wasn't for the fact that I consider myself to have a more reasonable approach to it than others. There are those that believe there is much more to your sudden appearance than there really is. They're kind of right. I mean, certainly not going to get any miracles. I can tell you that there is nothing supernatural about me. That's what I expected. A scholar looking forward to seeing everything your PDAs have to offer. I'll get them to you at some point during this run, I can promise you that. Don't worry about explaining them to me. Much more important things to do while you are here. You are definitely wrong about that. The PDAs are one of the reasons I volunteered to come. I know them pretty well, enough to explain how they work. thought I'd be the kind of person who'd meet all the requirements, and it turned out I was. You volunteered when you came to meet me. My interest in these matters shouldn't surprise you. More surprised that I arrived under the cover of darkness to meet an ambassador. Haven't seen much of you since. That's going to change. Initially, they wanted to have an official reception headed by myself, but in the end, they changed their minds due to security concerns, as I told you back then. Also, why I'm being escorted by the police all the time. I suppose that is true. I mean, I do get plenty of opportunities to wander around on my own, but every day, Sebastian has met up with me and led me somewhere. So, Maverick got involved, of course. At least I still got to meet you. Were you nervous? Yep. Or maybe no. Only the brave of the foolish wouldn't be. I consider myself neither. I have to admit I was too. I was speechless when I saw you, and that wasn't just a side effect of the teleportation. To be fair, I would have been as well if we didn't already know about humans and Reza. Moment of silence between us and our eyes met briefly when suddenly a loud call echoed through the building. Remy! Better go and see what this is about. Maybe it would be better if you didn't stay out in the open. At the end of the hallway, you can find my office towards the right. Wait for me there. Alright. Here's where something else might be a little different. Am I expected to break Remy's video game? I kind of want to avoid that this time. But I will go ahead and snoop around. Look at his notebook. Heavy paper, perfect binding. Can tell by the cover alone that it is not the cheap stuff, but the result of quality bookmaking. Let's take a peek inside. Unsorted notes, his handwriting is terrible. A-M-E... Nope, can't make it out. A-M-E... We have not met anybody with a name that starts... No, wait, no! There is somebody with an A-M-E that we met. Emily. It's a Calico Kid Raptor at the orphanage. I don't know if that's who this is about. We only met that kid briefly. Look in the mirror. It's just a mirror, nothing special about it. Rummage through trash. I am a raccoon after all. See, what do we have here? What's this? Something's wrapped in paper. It's a partially eaten sandwich covered in mold. I'm not going to eat that. I may be a raccoon dragon, but I have my standards. I've actually eaten something moldy once before, by complete accident. I had this bit of string cheese, and I bit into it, not noticing that there was mold underneath it. I noticed it tasted funny. I looked at it, and it's like, oh crap, am I going to be sick? And I actually kind of freaked out a little bit. It's like, I sent a message to my mom at work, and it's like, am I going to be sick? And she's like, no. And I was not sick. Incidentally, that was the last time I ate string cheese. I can rummage through the trash again? There are a lot of used tissues. Maybe he had the flu, but dutiful as he is, he still went to work sick. Poor Remy. Okay, I'm gonna save again. I'm hopeful that looking through his trash will not get me into trouble. Drinking his coffee, on the other hand, that's why I'm saving. There's still a little bit left in the cup. Ugh, so stale. Okay, let's wait. Nothing happened. Wait some more. Nothing happened. Keep waiting. Wait even longer. Alright, this was long enough. Achievement unlocked, patient. Your boredom has increased by 3 points. That'll come in handy. I don't think it will. Alright, so we actually do have to break his game. How unfortunate. Unless I'm given one more option whether to touch it or not. I wonder if their computers are similar to ours. Let's see. At the press of a button, screen came to life, accompanied by the whir of the machine. After a few seconds, colorful images appeared on the screen. It's a video game where humans are monsters. Have you come here to beg for mercy? No, Alia. We come to stop you. Your reign of terror over the land of Murmua is over. You're outnumbered. Just give up and we can end this without bloodshed. Area is teeming with my soldiers, outnumbering you thousands to one. But I don't even need them. Who knows, if you survive long enough, you might just see what I'm called Elia the Ascended. Oh, you pompous bleep. Calm down, Edith. Focus. Sorry I succumbed to this. Elia ends now. Ronan, get them. Grr. Nope, we're going to break this. How unfortunate. Well, at least now I don't have to feel bad about breaking it if it's kind of required. Gotta love those fancy pants long animations that some RPGs like to have. I don't think the game was programmed to know what to do if I lost the final battle. Hey, what are you doing? I think I broke it. Oh no, let me take a look. Why did you even touch the computer? The game forced me to. I just wanted to see what was on it. At least it seems to be okay. Oh no, my game! What's wrong? When you touched the computer, you saw a game running, right? Yeah, I played a little. I had to say specifically at that moment to play it later. And now it's all gone. Maddie says, how many people do you think got that blue screen and freaked out? I don't know. I can imagine some people would. It probably depends on how many people play this game in full screen. Because if it was in full screen, I can see that fooling people. But I'm playing this in windowed mode. So much preparation, so many hours spending grinding just to get there. Can't do all that again. You wouldn't understand. Actually, I do. I'm really curious whether that game has save points or not. Or did the crash corrupt the save? It's entirely possible the crash corrupted the save. I'm pretty sure I already told you guys about my experience with faulty memory cards in Final Fantasy VIII. Used to have similar games where I come from. At least my office is still standing. What's with the bed? It looks like you live here. When I have to work late, it's just easier to stay here. I have the knowledge of the whole library at my fingertips and can use the resources and equipment as I please, like this computer. Don't you have one at home? No, we generally don't have this kind of technology in every household. We used to have computers everywhere. library closing soon. If you want to do or ask anything in particular, now's the time. Are you available? Before says to get Remy's good ending, visit the library during the second investigation, look through Remy's pictures 3 times during his second date. I'm gonna make special note of that. And I'm putting 3 times in all caps. And highlighting the message in color. And also having a highlighted period. Successfully complete Adine's second date without her status in either bad or abandoned. Follow Vara at the store during the third investigation and ask Remy what he wanted children. Ask Remy that he wanted children during his third date. Thinking on it, you did mention the possibility of having 2 answering machine messages. So just in case, I won't ask if he's available. I'll ask about human myths. There's a lot we could get into, but I'm afraid we won't have enough time now. Maybe another day. Anyways, thank you for your help. How about I invite you to my place for dinner sometime to repay you? Oh, that's not necessary. I enjoyed my time here. I insist. Alright then. I already have your number, and you probably have mine as well? I do. Great. Call me when it's convenient for you. But not tomorrow. I will. Good night, Erika. Good night. I wondered whether the dragon was being nice or just didn't want to feel indebted to me after I helped him. In any case, the time I spent in the library had been enjoyable, and I was looking forward to seeing him again. Though, I wondered about his insistence on inviting me into his home. Had I just been asked out by a dragon? Cool. I was going to find out soon enough. Chapter 2, Duty Again? I will say that both Remy and Adine are impressed already. Not just good, but impressed. Skip to the scene selection? Yes, I want to skip ahead. As you wish. Relieved to leave the crime scene, considering all that happened. When I reached into my pocket, this is where we found the note with Tatsu written on it. Earlier encounter with masked person. Only time today someone's close enough to give it to me. Tatsu Park. Consider my places of Reza been to. So I gotta look for Reza or something. I gotta something. Yeah, I am looking for information on places Reza's been to. So... So before it says library, I'm trying to figure out what else besides the library. Tatsu Park. I still want to try to have a meetup with Emira now that I know that is possible somehow. At the same time, the grocery store is where we initially meet up with Vara besides her running past me that one time. Well, at the very least, I know to do the library. Alright, Reza, what did you want here? Hey, it's Remy. I already told you it's not here. Who's he talking to? Adine? Won't you help out an old friend? Friend? This is the first time you've spoken to me in years. I'm getting the feeling... I have a hunch why it is Adine's dates are required for Remy's good endings. As far as that, for you, I didn't even exist these last few years. At least I tried to reach out to you. No, you're just here because you want something. I'm right here, right now, and you still continue to act like that. She was my friend too, you know. I think you should leave. I wonder who they're talking about. Or if we've already learned. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for everything. It's a little late for apologies. Have it your way, then. Adine stormed out so quickly that she didn't even notice me. Waited a few moments, wondered if it was a good time to talk to Remy. In the end, I decided that my task was too pressing to come back at another time. I shuffled through books and tried to look busy until I noticed he resumed his work so I could approach him. Hello, Erika. Good to see you again. You too, Remy. Sorry I didn't get the chance to call you about the dinner yet, but there should be an opening soon. Anyway, do you need anything from me? I'm pretty sure I get the opportunity to ask about Adine after asking about Reza. Reza? He's visited quite often since he arrived, actually. Until a few days ago, that is. Do you know what he was reading? Not particularly. Thought he just wanted to learn about our world. Notice anything unusual about him while he was here? Can't say I did, though he did ask me for a map once. A map? Yes. I showed him a few, but none of them seemed to be what he was looking for. I don't know what the map is about. If I found out, I forgot. Did he talk to you about anything strange while he was here? Besides the maps, nothing else worth mentioning comes to mind, only the usual pleasantries. How are you doing? I'm not sure, to be honest. There are a lot of things on my mind right now. Like what? I'm not at liberty to discuss them at the moment. I'm supposed to be working, you know. Should I ask about Adine or not? Now save, just in case. I think I did before, though. Wait, you were there? You were here that whole time? Not the whole time, just long enough to know that something's up. It's nothing that concerns you. Come on, it does concern me. I know you, and I know Adine. It's really nothing of great importance. Are you aware of a certain prehistoric underground building we recently discovered? I've heard of it. She wanted a blueprint of it, which was one of the things found inside the building during an investigation. To my understanding, I'm going to need to retrieve that blueprint at some point for Adine's good ending. Why would you have it? We're not just a library, you know, but a whole archive that stores all sorts of information and objects. Do you remember the box you dropped last time you came here? Yep. It was filled with artifacts. We have them here for safekeeping. In any case, a blueprint is the kind of thing that would be placed in our care eventually. So she thinks you have it. Even if we did, it wouldn't be something we could just give out to anyone. Of course. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. We're definitely going to find out why Adine wanted the blueprint eventually. Now comes the important question. I know there are 2 trips to the grocery store we can perform. Is visiting the grocery store the first time important? P-Force is not sure. Let me think about this situation. I probably don't want to take chances. I possibly want to visit the grocery store anyway. More importantly, visiting Tatsu Park, it'd be to get a chance to hang out with Emira, but I don't think I would have an opportunity to hang out with Emira anyway on the second day, because I gotta meet up with both Remy and Adine. So I'm gonna skip the possible meetup with Emira this time, perhaps. Maybe. I'm not sure. Why take chances? Grocery store. So, grocery store, we've been here a couple times, so I'm definitely going to do a lot of skipping. Who was that? She's Vara. Remember this? Looking up his purchases. I don't think there's any reason for me to browse the store, so I'll probably skip that. I mean, we do kind of meet somebody while browsing, but I get the feeling Miss Boxhead is not necessarily important. So Beerforce says if you get answering machine messages from both Remy and Adine, you can't get Remy's good ending, so you'll have to either reload or go after Adine's good ending. Or you could go for Remy's bad ending if you think you can survive the massive gut punch. It's also the only time the administrator properly introduces herself to you. I can't remember. When was the first time I learned of the administrator's name? Because we did learn it. Anyway, skipping ahead. We don't need to see the... Achievement unlocked. Fast forward. You used the skip function 10 times. You skipper. Anyway, you have some information for us. What did you find? Receipts, interesting. Map and library. Don't know what to think about that. Could have needed a map to plan something, I suppose, but who knows what he really wanted to do with it. It's the kind of detail that, on its own, might not tell us much, but could be crucial later on. Hold on, Erika. That gives us some solid points from which we can continue our investigation. Thanks for your help. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Should be all. Bryce's search still going on. Find your way back to your apartment. See you later. Before says you didn't learn the administrator's name, but you've called her by name in a couple of endings despite that. Okay. Messages on the answering machine. Please just be one. Hello, this is Remy speaking. I'm calling in regard to the dinner we talked about. I'll have an opening soon and was wondering if you also had the time. Let me know if you are interested. Have a good day. I guess that's my official invitation. Now the question is if I want to go or not. Gosh dang it. Okay, need to restart here then. How do I go about this without getting messages from both Remy and Adine? Please a message after the beep. Gotcha! Gotcha! You thought that was your answering machine, but it was me, Adine! I get it. I know we talked about me coming over again, but I thought, why not mix it up and you come to me instead? I mean, it's not like I can use your excuse and pretend to order something from you. After all, you don't even have anything to sell or deliver. Unless... Well, I don't think you're that kind of person. Oh, I do hope this is the right number, or someone is going to be very confused. Well, she did get the right number, and I'm still confused. Achievement unlocked, popular. You had 2 messages waiting for you. I wonder why. I wonder why, too. Gosh dang it. I can't meet with both at the same time. Okay, so how do I go about doing this then? Before I said I need to hang out with both of them on the first day. Before says you can reload and skip through their dates and automatically set their status to good. I will perhaps take your word for it then. Okay, let's do the skipping. Yes, I want to skip ahead. Bryce let me to the apartment. What should I do? Okay, order some lunch. So I guess impressed status triggers phone calls from him. Gosh dang, I want to hug her every time. Hey. Why don't you come on in? Skip to the end of the scene? Yes. Want me to come over again? Don't have to order anything to do it. Here's my private number. I'll keep that in mind. Bye. That definitely was different than the first time where she offered to perhaps call me. Status good. Good. Let's meet with Remy. And I do kind of like the idea of Remy being impressed with me, so I won't actually skip this, but I will avoid reading the dialogue. Better be safe than sorry. Think about that kind of work day after day gives me a headache. Myths about humans. Alright, how do I fit them? Alphabetically? Sounds complicated. Okay, I still have the order. Inception. First War. The Tribe. Second War. Invention. Spark. Third War. Enlightenment. That wasn't too hard. Sure thing. Sorry. What was this question? Are you familiar with the portals? Actually, I am. Pretty cool. Nothing supernatural about me. I was speechless when I saw you. I'm still gonna go through all these. Rummage through trash. Rummage through trash again. Look at notebook. Drink his coffee. Pretty sure he doesn't want it anymore anyway. I think I broke it. I just wanted to see what was on it. Actually, I do know what it's like to lose your save. Well, now that I know I'm not going to get the double phone call, I think I will ask this question. Are you available? What do you mean by that? You know, for a relationship. That is, if you are going to ask me like that, my answer is going to be no. Anyway, thank you for your help. If there is any way I can repay you, just let me know. Okay, let's not be forceful. Can't think of anything. Well, what do humans typically do in such a situation? Invite them for a meal, probably. And that's what I'll do. Sounds good to me. Alright then, have a nice evening. You too. Parted amicably, or so I thought. Would I see him again? I wasn't sure, but I kept his number just in case. I'm going to double check what the result is, and if I have to, I'm gonna reload my game again. Hopefully, the available option was not necessarily a bad option. Are you still impressed? Gosh dang it, I want that impressed status. You're not stopping me either. Skip ahead. Order some lunch. Hey. Hey. Soaked, why don't you come in? Skip ahead. Remy. P4 says it's probably good to have him good status. That way you can meet Adine first. Is it important to meet Adine first? Hmm. Well, I suppose in the end, after hanging out with him for 5 days, he'd end in the impressed status. So, okay, just in case then, we'll skip ahead. And just have the good status. Thanks for your help. If there's any way I can repair you, just let me know. Can't think of anything. What do humans typically do? Invite them for a meal? Sounds good to me. Have a nice evening. I suppose with him having the impressed status, there's a chance that he'd send me a message every single day. That could possibly be an issue. Congratulations, you did actually succeed in stopping me from getting that impressed status. Oh, right, this part again. Library. Razor bin here. How you doing? What did Adine want? Okie doke. Grocery store. Who was that? Remember Razor? Okie doke. Skip ahead. Okay, back to this point. Let's go on a break. We will be right back. And when we come back, we'll go hang out with Adine. And if there's time, also Remy again. Hopefully there is time.